So we have an exciting show this morning. We've got a bunch of folks coming on today. We're going to actually have 3 different guests, and that should be kind of interesting. These are all political candidates, and so we are going to have this morning our first interview will be with a gentleman by the name of Kevin Jotz. Now, Kevin is running for the Oregon County Sheriff, and I understand he's got some interesting stuff to talk a little bit about. There's some political events he may be mentioning and that kind of thing. So for those of you who are in Oregon County, heads up. This is your opportunity to listen to what the candidate who wants to replace the current sheriff has to say. Call in with your questions and have an opportunity to kind of make some sort of an informed decision. So our second guest this morning will be, that's Shane. Shane Scholler. He's running for Secretary of State. And, excuse me, he's running for Secretary of State. And Shane will be coming on at the 8 to 9 o'clock hour. And then at the 7 to 8 o'clock hour, we are going to have Rick Van Deven. Now, Rick is a Libertarian candidate running for U.S. Congress for the 8th District, this one. And so we'll hear a little bit about his positions and stance on different issues, and then give you a chance to get more informed, because that's what this show is about, right? Not only did he give a chance for you to get your own opinion out there with your call, but also to kind of educate yourself. What do you think of that, Joe? Sounds like a plan. So for those of you who don't know, there's been some interesting news out there. Facebook IPO was a splash and a flop. A belly flop. All these people counting on making billions. The thing went up and then came right back down. So it 23 cents higher than it opened at, than it went IPO at. So, it went up there for a little bit and then it came right back down again. It's amazing. I was watching this guy the other day in California who was talking about the shortfall in the budget. And so many people live in California who are members of the Facebook organization from its earliest inception. And of course, most of them are going to be millionaires and billionaires after this, right? And he said, well, the shortfall is estimated to bring in about $2 billion worth of revenue to the state of California. And this guy says, well, the governor's already taken that into account. And we're still short like $35 billion. I'm thinking he already spent the money he didn't even have. We have a caller. Come on, caller. Welcome. Hey, Kevin, how are you? I'm doing great, thanks. You're on the line with Joe and myself, and so you're going to be running for Oregon County Sheriff. Oh, good for you. Well, tell us a little bit about what's happening up in Oregon County. We have a lot of listeners up there, so this will give you a chance to kind of do something better than that 30-second elevator speech, and talk a little bit about, what are the concerns that you've got? What's happening in Oregon County that's driving you to say, I've had enough and I need to step in and take some control of this thing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Sure. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Treat everybody the same. And that seems to be an issue with a lot of people around here. If they know you, if law enforcement knows you, or you're friends with somebody in their family or their friends of their family, then you're treated different than the regular folks. And I've never had that problem because I'm not from here. I don't have any family here. I was born and raised in Jersey. After I went to college for 2 years. I did not graduate. I didn't even get a diploma. I joined the military, and I was in I was a military policeman, and from there I went into LAPD right from there. And I retired from LAPD, and I came out here and brought my family.
How long have you been out here?
Since 2003.
Okay. Well,
So-
it's funny that you say that because I'm originally from Jersey too. What exit are you?
I'm out in Irvington.
Okay.
That was actually the first question I ever asked Mike.
That's an inside joke, but if you're from New
Yeah.
Jersey, you always
I know.
you always look at the other guy from New Jersey
Jersey
and say,
Parkway,
"Hey,
yeah,
what
okay,
exit? What exit you from?"
164 off the Parkway there.
That's
okay?
right. Hey, I'm here because we like the area. We love the opportunity to raise our family in an area that had a lot to offer in terms of small town living. But at the same point in time, with the advent of the internet, you don't miss things like the mall so much.
Oh, it's unbelievable here. I mean, we have my wife and I. We have a small ranch. We have 65 head of mama cows, and the Middle Fork River runs through our place. I mean, you can't ask for anything better.
A river runs through it. Hey, what could a Jersey
Yeah.
boy want more than that?
I grew up in the city. I work in the city all my life, and I come out here, and it's a dream come true. But it's
Gotcha.
a lot hot. It's a lot harder work. I mean, this life out here is a lot hotter than.
Oh yeah,
I
it
tell
sure
you.
is. If only the rest of them back there understood what it was really
Yes.
like to live out here, and
What it takes to make a living out here.
yes, sir.
Oof.
Well, so you sound like you've had some experience not only in this area but also outside, and you've got plenty of law enforcement experience. It sounds like, including the military. So, what drives you to? I mean, you mentioned that you had some kind of a challenge or something going on in Ava. What was happening there? Was it Ava or Alton? You mentioned. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
I was chief of police in Alton,
Okay.
and
okay.
That situation for a couple of years went pretty well, and then I had a run-in between the sheriff's department and myself.
Okay.
And with me doing things the sheriff didn't like, and the city council fired me in February for what they told me in the city council meeting. Even though prior to the city council meeting that day, every single alderman on the board told me personally that, Kevin, unless you've committed a crime, you're not going anywhere. And they'd just given me a letter of commendation 2 months before that for going above and beyond and all this, because I never took that job for the money. They paid me $8.75 an hour, and I got a great pension from LA. I never needed that job. I did it. I would work. I slept at that station. I worked the first time I started that job. I worked by myself, 48 days straight without a day off. The next time I worked 2 months without a day off because I had no officers to work for me until we could hire officers, because Alton does not pay that well.
Yeah.
And it was just, so I never did it for the money. I never got overtime. I made my 40 hours a week is all they'd pay me at $8.75 an hour, but I didn't do it for the money. I did it because police work to me is, I love to serve people, and this area is so, it's not like back in Jersey.
Yeah.
Back there, you go to a cop and you ask for help, and they help you. Here, you go there, and if they know you, you get service. If they don't know you, here, fill out this piece of paper, and we'll see what we can do, and nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that too many times.
All right.
Now, I could go over this, Michael. I could go over this, example after example. But if that's not, I'm not on here to, bash.
Sure. No, of course
bash
not.
The sheriff's
Well,
department.
let's talk a little bit about Oregon County. Now, you're running for sheriff, and I'll certainly have you on another time where you can kind of go into more, get down into the weeds on that stuff if that's what you want to do. But let's talk a little bit about Oregon County, because you're not running for, you're running now, and you're running for the sheriff of Oregon. So tell us what's going on in Oregon County.
As far as my events, or as far as what's happening?
As far as your events, what's driving you to be there?